welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have our takeaways from day 2 of Detroit Lions fully padded practices at training camp. Let's get it started. Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here, and today is day 2 takeaways. Now, I'm excited to bring this to you guys, but unfortunately, this one was not live streamed on YouTube or on the Lions website, and it's not open to fans to go there. So we only have a little bit of access from Detroit Lions media that were able to give us their observations from day 2. So we are really relying upon what they said. So that's what we're going to have to be doing in today's video. Now, I am planning to do a separate video where we talk about the NFC North, so the Vikings, the Packers, and the Bears, and see some major observations that has came away from their training camp so far that can definitely affect the Lions, because as we know, those are 6 of our 16 games in next season. In this video, we're just focusing on the Detroit Lions. Now, the Lions actually don't have training camp practice tomorrow because tomorrow is an off day, but tomorrow we'll be having Dan Miller on the show. So you know what? We're good to go. We are set. It's okay for us. No practice, but that's okay because Dan Miller is going to be here. So I'm super excited for that. If you didn't know, well, now you know. So put some questions in the comments below. I'm going to be picking a few of them, and I'll be asking him those during the short little interview Q&A. Whatever we do, it's probably going to be a live stream, so make sure you are in there. 8 p.m. Eastern time is what we are shooting for tomorrow. Now let's get into these Detroit Lions takeaways. Now, this is a little bit of a mix from what they did on the field and also what I took away from their interviews, because interviews, obviously, I can watch those and get takeaways, but I wasn't able to see what they got to do on the field, and, you know, obviously there aren't tons of highlights out right now, so we'll see if they put some out later, but for now, there's really no highlights to go look at either, so we're kind of just going off their observations, but that's okay. Let's just hop right into today's video because we have a lot of takeaways to discuss, and I'm very excited, as you guys can tell from the energy. So let's get it started. The first thing we're going to be talking about is running back DeAndre Swift, one of the most exciting players heading into the 2020 NFL season for the right reasons. This guy was one of the top running backs in the 2020 NFL draft, and he fell to us early in the second round. The Lions possibly made a little bit of a surprising pick going with a running back, but it left many fans super excited for the season, and so far DeAndre Swift has been very, very good for the Detroit Lions through training camp. Now, keep in mind, guys, we're only 2 days in. There's about 4 weeks until the season starts. So players that are starting slow now, they can pick it up. Players that are on fire now, they can start to slow down. Look too deep at the rookies so far, okay, because again, we're only 2 days into this, but it is encouraging to see them playing well, and what you're seeing on the field is stuff that you kind of knew when you brought them in. For example, DeAndre Swift, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield has been extremely dangerous so far in training camp, and he's been an absolute problem. He's been dominating in one-on-ones. When you put him out there with the linebacker, it is over. He's basically a receiver, and that's where he's been thriving with the Detroit Lions so far, is out of the backfield. And if you watch him in his interview, he says he prides himself on that ability. We did have a drop today, so keep that in mind. He did have a drop, but on one-on-ones, our linebackers could not cover him. He burnt Elijah Lee, Jared Davis, Jason Cabinda. So yes, those aren't the best pass coverage linebackers. I definitely want to see him against a guy like Jamie Collins. Honestly, he'd probably beat Jamie Collins as well, because Collins isn't a man-to-man guy. He's just a coverage linebacker over the middle. None of these guys are cornerbacks or safeties, so they're really going to struggle with Swift's speed, but that's why he's going to be a great mismatch for the Detroit Lions, just like Theo Riddick was. And with the talent that he is bringing to Detroit, also able to run the ball, this guy could be an absolute weapon. And so far he has been. He's been dominating. Like I said, he did drop a pass, but he's been burning all of these linebackers, and I would say that's pretty much kind of expected. His crisp route running, he has came in, he's super focused. I mean, if you listen to this guy talk, he is very, very monotone, I guess you would say. He's not very high, he's not very low. He keeps it all the same, very focused and very locked in, and just getting better and getting better every single day. So he is a very locked in player, okay? He doesn't show that much emotion right now, very locked into getting better, and I love him, man. This guy has been playing really, really well so far. We've heard a lot of rave reviews about his ability out of the backfield catching the football, and that was a huge reason the Lions drafted him, and he's been showing it so far on the field. So obviously, hopefully he doesn't drop too many passes this year, but we know he's going to be an absolute mismatch. The next guy is Jeffrey Okudah, the top pick the Lions made in the draft, pick number 3 in the 2020 NFL draft. Now, he hasn't been doing as well so far, okay? He hasn't necessarily been playing as well as DeAndre Swift has so far by his position, but the cornerback is obviously a tough position. I mean, every position is tough in the NFL, let's be honest here. Cornerback is a tough position because you are on an island, and especially for the Detroit Lions, they're playing tons of man-to-man, and this is literally his first season in the NFL. He hasn't taken a single NFL snap yet, and he's going against one of the best receiver groups in the league. I mean, he's not going out there against the Packers receiver group and it's like, hey, go cover Allen Lazard. No, it's, hey, go cover Kenny Galladay. Even Quintez Cephas, our 5th wide receiver, the roster right now, who's a rookie as well, who was a later pick in the draft, is someone that he said was the hardest player for Ohio State to cover back in college, and so far he struggled. He's actually slipped again today. He slipped yesterday trying to cover Kenny Galladay, a nice little spin route, and again today he slipped against guys like Quintez Cephas and Kenny Galladay. He has struggled so far, but Matt Patricia doesn't seem too worried, and again, you shouldn't be. These guys are extremely young, and they're going to get better, okay? It's his second fully padded practice. It's going to take a little bit of time, but Matt Patricia says he's competing. You know, they're throwing him out there. They're just, you know, trying to see what he can do, trying to get him used to this defense, and as soon as he starts to gain that confidence, he'll be fine, okay? I'm telling you, man, once he makes one big play, it's going to be a great day for Jeffrey Okudah, okay? He's all right. He's just a young player, and confidence can take a little while to grow, especially if you maybe came out on the wrong foot and you necessarily haven't had the highest start, and you didn't come out and make a huge play right away. Maybe you got burnt. It's like, oh, snap, and then you're kind of thinking about it. He's just got to let that go and keep playing. He's going to be a great cornerback, okay? He's the best cornerback in this draft. The Lions had tons of hope for him because if they didn't have hope, they would not have taken him in the top 3. If you're taking a corner in the top 3, you believe the guy is going to be a beast. Jeffrey Okudah will be a beast. I'm excited he's with the Detroit Lions. So far hasn't been the best start, but don't be concerned by any of that. I do believe he will be a starter, but there is very good competition there. So we'll see how that goes and how his progression goes. But it's great that he's going against great competition now because it'll honestly make the season probably a little bit easier, if I'm being honest. Like I said, this is one of the best receiving groups in the league, so it's not going to be an easy task no matter who he's covering. So yes, he is practicing with the number 2 defense right now, but that's still going against some really good receivers. Next up, again, another rookie. So we're talking about 3 rookies here. I didn't even notice. Actually, 4 rookies because we're about to talk about 2 of them, and then we're about to talk about 2 of them, and these are both of the offensive linemen that we drafted in round 3 and round 4. First off, Jonah Jackson, the man that we said started at right guard yesterday, is still starting at that right guard position. And it looks to me like, yes, he's going to be starting at that right guard spot for the season. Now, Big B talked about Jonah Jackson a little bit in his interview today, saying that he likes Jonah Jackson. He's a very good kid, and he tries to help him out, and he tries to help him out. So, Jonah Jackson seems like he's going to be the starter at right guard this season. And Logan Stenberg, even though he hasn't been taking the first string reps, like he doesn't look like he's going to be a starter right now, today he actually did practice a little bit as a backup center. They're trying to figure out what their options will be. They tried yesterday a lot of different guys as well. Russell Bodine opted out, and Bo Benshaw has not been practicing. For whatever reason, he has not been practicing. Matt Patricia didn't really get into it when he was asked about it, so we'll see what that looks like. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. Same thing with Kevin Strong, but they're trying different guys at the backup center position. So we'll see if Logan Stenberg can take over that role, and maybe he'll be a backup center for us because you need to know you have an option back there if a guy like Frank Ragnow does go down, or if Frank Ragnow has to move to a different spot. That's what's great about versatility. Quintez Cephas has been doing really well as a whole. I mean, all of these rookies have been playing well. Tracy Walker talked about it, saying all these rookies have came in shape, they're ready to go, and they're asking a lot of questions, they're trying to learn. And you look at a guy like Quintez Cephas, he did really well at 11 on 11s today. He had a big grab. So yeah, I mean, Quintez Cephas has came out on fire. They're saying, yeah, he doesn't seem to have that acceleration like most receivers or that burst, but he does have a way of getting a little bit of separation and catching the ball. And I'm telling you, man, that's what he had in college, and that's what he's bringing so far to Detroit. Big V is very excited also to be working with some of the Detroit Lions offensive linemen like Frank Ragnow and Jonah Jackson, and also Matthew Stafford. He says it should be cool working with those guys. He does like the offense, and he also says there's a lot of things that he has to work on because, it's been a weird offseason. A lot of things that he has to work on, but back in Philadelphia, they would tell all their offensive linemen, play like you're a starter, practice like you're a starter, not a backup. He's mainly a backup in Philadelphia, but that's because he was behind 2 of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. Now he's going to get that opportunity as our starting right tackle. At least it seems so far he has been. So he's definitely says that he has things to work on, but he's very excited for the season. The defensive side of the ball, we have some really good competitions. You're always going to have these defensive line, linebackers, things like that. And we praised DeAndre Swift doing really well against linebackers. Well, one of the linebackers that made a nice play today, actually 2 guys did, but one of them that's a new piece this offseason is Elijah Lee. He made a nice pass breakup, kind of got some revenge after he got beat by DeAndre Swift, went out there, made a great pass breakup against Jonathan Williams, who is the Lions' new running back. Eric Lee can do that, okay? Eric Lee has a little bit of athleticism. He has some smarts in coverage, and I think he'll be mainly a special teams guy, but he's definitely some major competition for Jalen Reeves-Maybin. But both of these guys, man, I think, the linebacker group is looking pretty darn nice. I think we're going to see a lot of guys step up that necessarily we weren't expecting. I'm really high on Jalen Reeves-Maybin this offseason, but that's good news to hear from Eric Lee for sure. And then Jamie Collins, of course, Jamie Collins is still doing his thing. Jamie Collins is going to go out there and ball out. Kind of looks like an illusion how he knocks the football down because Jamie Collins had a nice pass breakup over the middle of the field today on Matthew Stafford. And that's another played against Matthew Stafford. Jamie Collins is just one of the best coverage linebackers in the league. He's very intelligent, and that's why we brought him in. He had a nice knockdown over the middle of the field, and that's expected. That's what I want to see out of Jamie. And so far, he's been super good. I mean, he has just lived up to all the hype. And Matt Patricia seems to be super excited that he is there to be kind of like another coach. There are some guys that aren't playing today that haven't been playing much, or they've had really light practices. Bo Benshaw and Kevin Strong continue to be out, but you see guys like Nick Bawden not playing a ton. T.J. Hockenson said he wasn't 100%, so he didn't play a ton today. You got guys like Carrion who's wearing a right knee brace. He had a light day. Bo Scarborough had a light day, so that could be them trying to just get different reps in there, different guys in there, but also because I think for a guy like T.J. Hockenson, he said he doesn't feel like he's 100% yet. You still see Carrion wearing that brace, so I think those guys are trying to get back into it, but for the rest of them, we don't exactly have a clear answer on why that is. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. That's our approach to this one, wait and see. Jonathan Williams has been impressing because Ty Johnson has kind of struggled running up the middle. He's kind of some struggles right there near the goal line. Williams has showed off his strength by the goal line. He had a touchdown run against multiple defenders where he turned his back and got into the end zone. Jonathan Williams, man, I told you, this guy just never stops moving his legs. He just keeps them turning. And so far, man, he's pushing, man. He's pushing this roster. He's adding a lot of competition to this running back group. Jonathan Williams is a talented running back, and he was a talented running back coming out of college. A big injury that made him fall in the draft. He has a lot of talent to give to Detroit, and that's my favorite thing about him, is his ability to just keep running, keep pushing, being a powerful, tough running back. I mean, this is a tough, hard-nosed running back. This is what you want in the backfield for short down situations. Kind of like Bo. That's Jonathan Williams, who gives you a nice little balance of both. Offensive line versus defensive line. I would say offensive line won today. Offensive line did pretty good. Decker did very good. Decker had a great day against guys like Trey Flowers. Taylor Decker, we know he's on his contract year, so this is a huge year for him. He knows he has to play well, and he has to do his thing, or he won't have a contract extension. Speaking of contract extensions, Kenny Galladay's excited to get his. He kind of knows he's going to get his as well. Okay, we don't know this coming. But Taylor Decker, we don't know exactly if that's going to come. However, Taylor Decker had a great day today against guys like Trey Flowers. You see a guy like Julian Okwara who's probably going against guys like Terrell Crosby or a backup tackle. The Lions have nice depth on each side of the ball. See here is Joe Dahl seems like he may be the starter at left guard, at least to begin the season, or at least so far he seems to be the starter at left guard. But again, things can change. There is a lot of time. David Blau had himself a really good day. He was very sharp today. His footwork technique's not the best, but he was very, very accurate. He had a nice touch on football. I love the David Blau. I think Blau could be the future. I know I get hate for it, but I think he could be. I just like the poise out of this young quarterback. I don't know. I mean, I just saw it. You don't see that with everybody, okay? Everybody gets hyped up on the intangibles, but to me, it's about the poise. It's about the recognition. It's about staying cool and calm and collected under pressure, all right, and being able to make adjustments, see the whole field. That's what I look for in my quarterbacks. I don't necessarily need to have the strongest or the fastest quarterback if he is a smart quarterback, because I think that's really what the quarterback position is all about. It's about that mental game as a quarterback. I mean, that's really what it does come down to. Deshaun Hand and Jonah Jackson split. Deshaun Hand won a battle. Jonah Jackson won the other one. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like Jonah Jackson seems to be kind of the planned starter, at least at this point. Kenny Galladay had a great grab, a great touchdown grab today from Matthew Stafford on the play action deep pass, something that you would expect for sure. Now, who has been balling out? Jamal Agnew. And this is what one of the Lions reports said, that they might have something brewing in Detroit with Jamal Agnew moving to receiver. He has been electric. His route running has been doing really well, and his progression has probably been a lot faster than many people expected from a guy that's trying to change positions in one offseason with a weird offseason. His progression has been pretty quick, and Jamal Agnew has looked really good. We know the explosiveness is there, and if he can get some of this technique down, and he's consistently catching the football, he's going to be a problem. I mean, he is going to be an absolute problem. And so far, there's reason for optimism for Jamal Agnew, because he is doing really, really well. He had a diving grab against Tony McRae. He had a catch between multiple defenders today. He's been doing well. Yeah, he's not going against the best competition necessarily defensively. He's still working with some of the backup units, but he's definitely got to keep an eye on for, man. I think he's going to make the team. I had that feeling. For me, man, I think it was a pretty good overall day for the Detroit Lions. We got a lot of guys that are playing well. A lot of these young guys are stepping in quickly. Quintez Cephas, Jamal Agnew, Jonah Jackson. We'll see what Logan Stenberg's role look like, but a lot of these young guys are coming in quick and they're ready to go. Not a lot of players are playing bad, I would say, at this point, or guys that's very concerning. I would say Jeffrey Okudah, I mean, the expectations are through the roof. So if he's not being incredibly great, then we're going to look at him like he's not playing very well. It's not that he's playing trash or anything like that. He just hasn't been maybe what you expected out of Jeffrey Okudah, but he's also only played for 2 days and he's going against really good competition in that wide receiver group. So definitely give him some time. I'm confident Jeffrey Okudah will be absolutely fine. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you, Brad, for watching, and I'm out.